Hi, everyone. Welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. I am Kathy. Good to see you guys here. We are doing our Saturday live stream. Welcome to everybody. I'm trying to be consistent with my Saturday live streams, and I see that you guys are showing up. So thank you so much. So if you're new here, please go ahead and say hello in the chat. I'm Kathy. This is Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. We're getting down and dirty with the Lori Vallow Daybell case. This is the case I started my channel with. And now that Lori's going to trial, it will be time. Now, I do have, she keeps leaving me, but she'll be back. We're going to have a guest today who is going to come back. I guess she was in the back room and now she's not. So we'll see. She'll pop back in here. Anyway, so Lori was moved to Ada County this week, and there's some really kind of interesting photos of Lori showing up or stopping to pee, I guess. Here, let's just show that. There it is. Here's Lori stopping to go potty, and that person that took the picture was like the manager of that store or whatever. So Lori is on her way to being Miss Ada County Jail Beauty Queen. I don't know what she's going to be there. Anyway, I am going to bring on, let me get rid of this. And we have Idaho Mom Reports. Idaho Mom Reports is one of our fearless people that have been here for so long on my channel. And she is going to be at the trial. So let me bring her in here for you guys. There you are. Hello. I hear she's there somewhere.
There you are. Hi, Kathy. It looks like I'm a little.
You're good.
I'm having technical issues a bit, but can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're on. You are on the air. Can you see everybody in the chat? Yeah, I can hear the echo in the background. So you got the delay going on. You have it on somewhere? Yeah.
Yeah, I turned down the volume on the TV.
Perfect. Okay, so say hello. This is Idaho Mom Reports. You guys know her. She's been in the chat a million times. She's one of our members, and she is going to go to the trial every single day that she possibly can. So go ahead and tell them.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm looking forward to interacting with you more. It turns out I have some time off. I am in the area. I can get to the courthouse, so I figured why not? And I feel well prepared thanks to all of Kathy's videos and podcasts.
Awesome. Yeah, so we got eyes and ears there. She's going to stream on her own channel, but she's also going to be our Left Undone correspondent. So we are super excited. I'm so excited that she offered to do this because I've been like, I want to go. I can't go. I want to go. I can't go. So it'll be nice to have some really official eyeballs there right in the back of Lori's head. So you will we don't know how the process is going to go for you to get in, right? You're going to have to sign up for some lottery system or register.
Yeah, from what I understand, the business day before, I have to go on at 8, make a reservation, and then show up.
Oh, you got to go there to do it. Oh, okay.
I believe that I'm pretty certain the reservation is online. The business day before 8 a.m.
Okay, perfect. That'll be super cool. And then are you going to go there for jury selection and everything?
I think I'll be able to. Yes.
Oh, cool.
Right. I'm getting all the little technical, all that worked out. I'll just be there on April 3rd. I know sometimes they'll get a jury picked and they'll start right away.
Yeah. Well, Letecia Stauch's jury's taken a long time to pick. I just watched something on that, and they're like, they have to narrow it down to 120 people, and then from those 120 people, they're bringing like 75 people in a day, and then from those then they narrow that down to 120, and from that 120, they narrow it down even more. Did you hear that? That's how they're doing that.
Yeah, that's.
Is that what, I think that's what, I don't know how it's going to work for Lori, because who knows with Judge Boyce how it's going to go, because he seems to have his own way of doing things, clearly. Uh-oh, we lost her again. She'll come back. So Lori, is this going to take a long time? I'm just wondering how that jury trial how that jury selection is going to go and how long it's expected to take. Does anybody know? Anybody got any ideas? I'm sure Nate Eaton. Oh, he's going to be releasing the. Hi, you're back. He's going to be releasing the audio every night, I guess, when they release it to him. So that'll be like what 6, 7, 8 hours of a day of audio that we're going to have to listen to at night. I think she's having technical difficulties. So I'm just trying to figure out how we can do that because I want to listen right away. I don't want to miss it. Like when he releases it, I want to listen. So I hope it's not like super late into the night, or maybe we'll have to do it the next day. Here we go. I think Lori Vallow said she was going to be phoning in at 12:01 a.m. to get a seat. Maybe that's for the press only, or she was joking. Maybe that's what she said. No, I think she did say something like that. Like the phone lines open or the registration opens. That's right. It's coming back to me now. The registration, Lori Vallow had said the registration opens at 12:01 a.m. And so then you have to just like get online and make a reservation.
That's what I understand. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's what you'll have to do. You'll have to set your alarm, wake up, register, and get up and go. That's kind of a pain, really. 12:01 a.m. For the next day or for that day? Probably for the next day. It's like getting content.
I've heard 8 a.m. I've heard 12:01 a.m.
Okay. So we don't know for sure. I'm just curious because if I do go up there at some point, you'll have to tell me what the system is so I can get in.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. You'll have it all figured out by then. You'll have all the kinks figured out. The audio will cost about $100 a day. I know. So who has to pay for that audio? I think Nate Eaton, like the news people, will pay for the audio and then release it to the public. I don't think we're going to have to pay anything. Right? That's my understanding. Ticketmaster strategies. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Is anybody else in the chat going to be there? Any of you all live there? Are going to be there? Are going to try to go? Anybody? Let us know if you are. If you're a nice person, let us know if you are. Just kidding. Only nice people allowed. Let's see. What is she saying? Having to pay to have any access to a court trial feels un-American. It does. It does. It just seems like it's news. I guess some of the news places actually charge because now you can't get in certain websites or like New York Times or Washington Post. You can't even read them without buying them now. So let's see. There's a few channels that are going to pay for it and release it to the public for free, but you can give a donation towards the channel if you want. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, you're going to Gannon's case? Juicy Jules going to Gannon's. That's cool. Can you report back? Well, now is that going to be televised? And that is going on literally at the same time as Lori's case. Idaho Mom reports. You're back. I think you're good. You keep dropping out, but I think you keep coming back. So just speak whenever you want. Talk whenever you want.
Sorry, everyone. I should have grabbed some headphones, and I apologize, but I'm here.
There's a learning curve to this whole thing too. I never used to wear headphones, but then I started wearing my earbuds, and it works out better because then I'm hearing. Otherwise, I don't hear. Like it's weird. My microphone will play the audio, but doesn't play it. So I have to wear my earbuds.
I'll be sure and grab some earbuds probably today even.
Yeah, it works out good.
Oh, good. So far. My kid, my daughter's not here. I'd grab hers, but yeah, that was really nice of you to reach out and be so encouraging and helpful. I don't plan on doing this long term, just for the trial. Since I'm local and everything went down and cameras can't be in the courtroom. I was planning on watching at home and, well, that's not going to happen. It looks like,
I know, that's such a bummer.
So I'm just really glad that your community was, I've been, because we know how the YouTube, we just know how social media can be. I don't know if you noticed, do you see that Annie got her channel or her live taken down last night?
No, what happened?
She said something to the effect that somebody had reported her for bullying. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Haha. I'm guessing it's another YouTuber who's obviously, um, people are just hateful. We know that. They're just like they were with you, just
Yeah.
jealous.
It's really tough to everybody's so competitive here, but it's just really stupid because I feel like we all could, if everybody really wasn't competitive, everybody could really come together, And I notice a lot of creators, they only invite people on that'll help them grow. They don't do the opposite. They don't offer
Oh
things
yeah,
to help
and you're
you
totally
grow.
right. And I can sense the sharks will be coming towards me, and I'm not interested. I I'm happy to interact with people and do whatever, but I just no, I just don't. I'm only interested in getting the story out. It really touched me too when you posted how Tammy Daybell's parents and Judge Boyce keeps. Why can't they? Why can't they be able to see it from their home?
I mean, like a Zoom or something, what that's locked
Something. I
down.
mean,
You know
I
what I mean? You don't have to invite
I
everybody
know
to
that
the
there's
thing.
victim witness coordinators, and if anybody knows the Daybell family, I hope they're reaching out to them.
The Douglas family. Tammy Douglas. Yeah, her parents, the Douglases. Yeah, that would be great if they were reaching out to them because I think it's just so wrong. Really wrong. I think it's really sad that Judge Boyce isn't taking them into consideration. It said Tammy's mom isn't in good health. They can't really travel. So it's just sad. Did I lose your audio again? I think you disappeared on my audio. Um, you're going to try to go to Carrie a little bit. Oh, okay. Now you're on a different device. Let me remove this one. Let's add you this one. Did you jump on some other device?
I'm here. It's just without any earbuds, it's just really hard for me to hear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, because so when I was playing it before through my computer, it would get the echo. I don't get any echo with you, but it would get the
I am
echo.
really
And then,
sorry. Hang on.
okay. Did you mute yourself? She must have. Oh, okay. Got it. She muted herself. Let me see. Um, I don't know. Now you got two in here. Sorry, guys. This is like technical difficulties. We're doing it though. Um, it feels so icky and wrong to have a huge slap in the face in the families of the victims. I agree. I think it's really sad. And yeah. And I think that I don't know. I mean, so many people wrote Judge Boyce saying, and Larry, did you guys all see Larry Woodcock's interview on Banfield and how upset he is about all of this with the cameras not being allowed and the death penalty off the table? He literally said he doesn't consider Judge Boyce a judge anymore. He didn't. He looked very stressed. Tired. It's been 3 years. They haven't gotten the bodies back yet. It's just sad. And I just feel like Lori's getting more rights than the victims' families. It's just I just can't even believe it. It just really bothers me. And like a lot of the lawyers and stuff that are watching this case are like, this is public. Scott Reich says it all the time. Like, what do they have to hide in Idaho? Why are they hiding everything? This is public. And that's the way I've always understood it. Courtrooms are open to the public. And the world has gotten so big and we got technology. So why not use that technology to open it to the actual public from that can't be right there? I just think it's messed up. That's my opinion. Larry said, yeah, I won't refer to Boyce as a judge any longer. So and he was super duper respectful of Judge Boyce all the way up. He has said, I respect the man. I he's the judge. Maybe there's some things I don't like, but I respect him. But now he's like, he is not a judge. Yes, I agree. Sensible crime. Hi, nice to see you. Hundreds of cases where the bodies have been released before trial. And there's hundreds of cases, right? Like, seriously. And like I was saying, in our members only live stream last night, there's hundreds of cases where there's no body. So, I mean, come on. Yeah. I just have you guys all seen the interview with Larry on Banfield? If you want to see it, put one in the chat. If you've seen it and you don't want to, put two. And we'll see what the majority says. So I can play it. I can pull it up and play it again. Look at all the people. You guys it's nice to see all of you again. People I haven't seen here in a little while. Everybody's getting all geared up. One. There's two ones. Lori says one. Jenny says a one. Angie says a one. You've seen it. We'll watch again. Okay, let me pull it up then. So far, you guys are saying yes. Okay, let me find it. I will find Larry. All right. Let me get this up here and then I can share in 1 second after the ad's done. Okay. Okay. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to share this and then we will watch it. And Holly, you're muted. I don't know if you know. You're muted. But I'm going to share the screen and we're going to watch the Larry and Kay interview where
I'm here. I just muted
okay.
just to help.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So I'm going to play that right now so everybody can watch that. I may interrupt a little bit because I know for copyright issues, you're supposed to be making commentary on it. So I will interrupt here and there so that we can discuss it a little bit. But I'm going to play.
Awesome. I can't wait to see your reaction.
Let's get, okay, here we go. Play it on. Here we go. And
towards this case and wanted a death penalty. Rob Wood and Lindsay Blake saying, well, we're disappointed and respectfully disagree with today's decision. We will continue to vigorously pursue justice for Tammy, Tylee, and JJ. I want to bring in Kay and Larry Woodcock. They're the grandparents of JJ Vallow. Kay's brother, Charles, married Lori, and the two of them, the couple, adopted JJ from Kay's daughter. And Kay and Larry had been grandparents to both JJ and his sister Tylee, and they endured the unimaginable additional tragedy when Lori was charged in the death of Kay's brother, Charles. They plan to be in court every day when Lori's trial begins in less than 2 weeks, and they are live with me for this News Nation exclusive. Larry and Kay, first and foremost, I am sorry that you received this news today because I know it wasn't news that you wanted to hear. I wanted to get your initial reaction to the judge's decision to take the death penalty off the table.
Today's news was from left field. We had no idea that he was going to dismiss the death penalty from her. We're just reeling from the news, and it's been a very long, hard day, but it is what it is. We're on a roller coaster. We've been on a roller coaster for going on 4 years now. And so, again, the ride continues whether or not we like it because we're stuck on it and we cannot get off.
So, Larry, the prosecutors, I just read the statement Rob Wood and Lindsay Blake put out. They were disappointed as well. And I'm hoping that they have treated you well and that there's been good victims advocacy and that they have guided you through this process and at least helped you to get the news before it became, public knowledge to the rest of us. Is there any solace that can be found in this? Is there any silver lining, given that sometimes it's easier to get convictions when the death penalty isn't there than when it is? And I bring up Casey Anthony all the time.
Casey Anthony got out and she murdered her daughter. And Lori, maybe she wasn't there when Alex killed everybody, but she conspired, Chad conspired, and it was like she did it with her own hands. she killed everybody. Tammy, JJ, and Tylee, all three. She was involved in, just like she was involved in the conspiracy to murder Charles. But we're gonna put that aside.
So I just like, okay, Kay's talking first, and then Larry starts out, and it's just heartbreaking. So just watch that, because Kay, she's kind of like, it is what it is, blah, blah, blah. But then Larry just is like, this is not okay. So I'll keep going here. Let me go back.
Aside till after she's done in Idaho, then hopefully they'll get her down in Arizona and take care of her there too.
So the idea that it is strange. First of all, having female defendants of a triple murder is so incredibly rare. Finding death qualified jurors is also really hard. And then finding jurors who actually convict and agree to vote for a death penalty against a woman is extremely hard. Again, Casey Anthony thing, many of the jurors struggled with that. If putting the death penalty aside and taking it off the table might actually make convicting her easier. Larry, do you think there's a silver lining there, or at least something that can be salvaged in terms of justice for you?
Today, I'm going to show you the basic techniques you need to look your very best using What the Foundation. This is not your mother's foundation.
No. This boils down, Ashley, to people were murdered. I lost a grandson. I lost a granddaughter. I lost a brother-in-law. And God, I pray for everybody every night involved in this case. Tammy was a tragedy. Tammy was, all of these murders are just totally unjustified. I've had a horrible day today. We woke up to this morning. My day has been troublesome all throughout the day. Thank God that we have the support that we have. So many texts, so many emails, so much from so many people supporting us. There has been nobody more supportive of Boyce than I have. And I'm going to state this right now. I no longer consider Boyce a judge. From this point on, I will not refer to him as a judge.
See, and Larry, he said there's been nobody more supportive of Judge Boyce than me, and now I'm no longer referring to him as a judge. And Larry's very even keel person, so I feel like this is him when he's mad kind of person, I don't know him personally, but he's been so even and sensible and kind and appreciative. But now he's like, Judge Boyce, you are a bad
Oh,
judge.
yes. Hey, Larry, they're pissed.
Yeah. They're pissed.
Can't say I blame them.
Nope. Can't blame him at all. Okay. Let me go back. I'll just keep going.
It's my belief now. I think he has made bad calls. Do I think there may have been some things that could have been done different? Yeah, I do. This ruling that he handed out today is an insult to JJ. It's an insult to Tylee. It's an insult to Charles. And it's an insult to Tammy. It's a slap in the face to our family. And I think this ruling should do an interlocutory appeal tomorrow. I think the fact that Judge Boyce is not allowing cameras in this court, I have said it before, is wrong. If they allow cameras in the Supreme Court down to the traffic court, then why isn't he allowing cameras in the courts now? Is it because he's getting pressured? If so, who is he getting pressured by? Is this being pressured from the church? Is this being pressured? I don't think it's from the state. And I am telling you, I'm on TV right now asking Mr. Attorney General of Idaho, please review these rulings. Mr. Supreme Court Justices and Mrs. Supreme Court Justices, please review this. And whoever nominated Boyce at this point to be a judge or to get down on his knees and ask forgiveness. Am I mad? I am beyond mad. Am I upset? You better believe I'm upset. This is wrong.
Larry, I am so sorry for what you and Kay are dealing with, not just today, but for, like you said, 4 years. I wish you peace and strength, and I know this is going to be a really hard 2 weeks because I know you're both headed up there to Idaho to be in that courtroom front and center and let them know that there are other victims, you know, in this case. Thank you. Thank you both. Kay, thank you. Larry, thank you. And let's stay in touch on this.
Yeah, pretty messed up. Oh, Teresa, you did. You sat through the oh, that's right. You were going to go. Fucci sentencing hearings in Florida this week. The judge Lee Smith hammered life in prison for Fucci at 16 years old for hammering Tristan Bailey. Good. That kid's sick. He needs to be off the streets. He's an evil little child. Horrible person. He's given the poor family nothing. I agree, Ruby. Boyce seems like he wants to hide everyone's incompetence, his and the prosecution. But I just don't get it. Like, I know some of the experts like Lori Vallow and Scott Reich, and I don't know. Sometimes I watch the lawyer, you know, what's his name? Peter something.
I love that guy.
Yeah. He seems really cool, right? Like, and he's Greek.
Yeah, he is.
Just to throw that out there. He's Greek. He's a Greek boy. I just don't get it. I just don't get why everything is a slap in the face to this poor family. I just don't understand.
I could just chime in on that, Kathy, Idaho obviously is a small state. Things like this. The last time something like this happened was Joseph Duncan all those years ago. I personally, I blame the prosecutors. I'll just put it out there. In my opinion, I think Judge Boyce is acting very conservative. He's being way too careful, and we know that. I mean, obviously, he's got to, but it's just kind of the Idaho way to kind of take a conservative approach to things. I disagree with that. My whole family disagrees with it. My people I've talked to disagree with it. Perhaps maybe, I don't know. I keep praying that maybe Judge Boyce will have a change of heart in that. But in the meantime, that's my thoughts. It's a nice state. It's a privilege to raise my kids here, and I do think it's maybe perhaps time for our legislature to rethink things and maybe not give judges so much discretion. That's just my thought.
Yeah, I think, yes, Peter Tragos. Yeah, I mean, it's a very conservative state, like you said, and eh, and I think they don't. I don't know. They're like behind the times, really, when technology has taken over, and we've like the Murdoch trial was on TV. That's huge. That's bigger than this. Um, it's still heartbreaking and everything, but it didn't affect the outcome of the trial. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I could see because you're an Idahoan, is it Idaho, Idaho, how do you say that? But so and that's probably a really good position for you to be in, to go to this trial and to be able to sort of advocate for the people what you want as a person that lives in the state.
Yeah, that's kind of also the approach I'm taking, Kathy. And of course, I really am appreciative of you and nice YouTubers, I'll just say. I really don't mind putting myself out there. I think this will be a good experience for me, and I look forward to it. And hopefully it'll be a good experience for people who watch me. But, I'm just like, what are they hiding? I mean, and so, so that's mostly why I'm going down there. Because things do get hidden when they're kept secret. I don't know if anybody's familiar with any arbitration processes. I've attended many of those. Those are nasty. So I'm very grateful that, that for people who are searching, the public does have a right to know, because that's how we get to see shenanigans. That's how we get to ensure that justice is served. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, and these are people that are paid for by the public. They're our justice system. They're people we're supposed to trust. And when they act shady or secretive, people lose trust. That's how I feel. I'm like, what? How many people already in the chat are saying, what do they have to hide? Why are they doing this? Why are they trying to hide something? So
it may be just what Lori and Scott are saying, that first of all, okay, so the prosecutors don't want it. They don't want cameras. Why? Well, we can see why.
mhm.
They're dropping the ball.
Yeah.
And Judge Boyce, I really feel for Larry and Kay, and I agree with them, but I also feel Judge Boyce that we tend to be very, very careful in Idaho. I'll just leave it at that. And I just think that Judge Boyce's discretion is, he's just erring on. I mean, it's talk about an overabundance of caution, and I don't see how having a camera in the courtroom would taint any jury. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's worried about Chad's trial. Could be. I've heard that he's also worried about preserving the dignity of a mentally ill woman. I don't know. Just the messenger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I care about Lori Vallow Daybell's dignity, and I don't think anybody here does either.
Right. I mean, her and Letecia are both trying to be mentally ill now, but they both know exactly what they're doing. They're just, mentally ill or not. Yeah, she's sick in the head, but is she psychotic? Is she hearing voices that are telling us to do this stuff? I don't think so.
Yeah. And since when we as a public have a right to know what she did in my state? I need to know that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. I mean, yeah, you do. This is close to home. This is your state. These are your people that
Lipstick Lori. That was the funniest. I loved watching that with all of you. That was so great.
Lipstick Lori. Oh my God, Lori. And she's still doing stupid things with her makeup, if anyone has
I know. The whole she's all worried about her image, that one. That is, oh geez. I keep hearing schizoaffective, in my opinion, based on what we've seen. I would say so. Yep, the delusions, the superiority complex. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she said the girl, the lady, what was her name? She was on Banfield the other night, the one that she came in the store. We can listen to that one too. I played it last night on the members live if you guys want to hear that interview with the woman that snapped the picture of Lori. But she was like, that's Lori. And she was like, oh my God. And I guess Lori turned and smiled at her at one point.
Yeah, because she's a movie star. She's famous.
Look at you knowing who I am. Yeah.
And Kathy, you can say that for the beginning, and I know your community has it during the pandemic. I really appreciate that you making all these videos, and it really was something, gave me something to do. And also living in Idaho, I was paying attention because we wanted to find these kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened. I just started making a channel, and then I was like, "What? There's a case on the news. Let me find one that sounds interesting. Oh, look, two missing people and 2 missing children. Let's follow this." And then it turned into this whole thing. And so I just started making videos, and then we were in the middle of the pandemic, and I'm not going anywhere, not doing anything. Let's make more. And so my channel just turned into like hundreds and hundreds of videos.
You were the first. You were the first. You and Denise, I think Denise Rainey maybe started a little before, but you were the very first. I was there.
Yeah, I was.
Well, of
I
course,
was just by accident, but yeah.
I'm saying because, of course, Nate Eaton and Justin Love have been covering as well.
Yeah, that's why. I guess that's the thing is like it started hitting the mainstream news, and then I caught on to it, and then and Denise Rainey, and then as it went on, more and more people. A lot of creators didn't even hop onto this until the bodies were found. So,
yeah, and I've always gone to you for accurate information, and then also the fact that you were not afraid to tell the truth and saying it like it is, and it's still, in a way that's respectful and not putting down other people. And by the way, I mentioned Justin Lum, and I mean as far as people covering it from the very beginning, because you're right, there's a lot of people that did jump on later, and there's a lot of great YouTube channels out there, a lot of other news sources and other news organizations, but from the very beginning, it was you, Nate, and Justin Lum.
Yeah.
And Denise Rainey, of course, bless, may she rest in peace.
So sad. She was young.
Yeah. And of course, then the rumors started. Do you think they murdered her? I personally do not. But I don't know with this group of people, and who knows how the hell far this goes, this cult.
Well, they haven't found me yet. I got cameras everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got it. Before I go on camera, I want to make sure and beef up my security and make certain. I live in a safe area in Idahoans it's a nice, safe place to. I mean, things like this don't. Well, they do happen. I worked in CPS for a little bit, so yeah, there's some. We have our wackadoodles, just like anybody, but on this level, and with so many adults who didn't step in. That's what's infuriating. And I think that's what still I want to see Melanie Gibbs. What does she have to say for herself?
Yeah. And okay, so that's the thing, this witness list, because somebody kind of read me the riot act the other day in the comments, because I expressed my opinion that I feel like possibly Melanie and Melanie, along with Zulema, have a deal. And
yes, they do. And it's coming out more and more. We know for a fact Zulema does.
We know for a fact only by accident. We would not know that if that recording didn't get put out there.
Oh, I know. Everybody make sure to watch Kathy's video. I know you did a video on when Rob Wood was, oh gosh.
Was it the?
Yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. When Summer taped him.
Summer's lawyer taped him. Yes.
That's right. Garrett, that very ethical lawyer. And I'm being very sarcastic.
Yes. And what's funny about that is that I need to put that on Afterglow too. I'm not at that part yet, but that needs to be on Afterglow, because Afterglow has like most of the recordings, all the body cam recordings, everything. I'm putting all that out there. So it's a lot of stuff that people don't know about. We're not just talking about it, but we're hearing it in chronological order. But that was a big deal when that got released. Mark Means released that. He released that. Garrett recorded it with Summer. Rob Wood flat out tells Summer in that audio that, he thinks that Chad's the one to go after, but that, like basically telling her, you need to work on your sister to get her to come make a deal. That's how I took it.
Yeah, me too. And then it was interesting how he was saying how basically how bad, what crazy she is.
Yeah.
But then, of course, with the latest documents coming out, I think it's safe to read between the lines that for sure Melanie Pulowski has an immunity deal. I mean, we watched her little computer tampering charge just magically go away.
Gone, poof, like that. Yep. And I think you're right. I think that was something they
And
read
I know I'm in everybody's in Zalema. Oh.
Well, Zalema, she lied. My last afterglow that I just put up, Zalema, literally, it's the body cam audio of Zulema explaining what happened to Alex, and she tells like 6 lies in a row. Like, oh, and then she gets mad, so she's going to call a lawyer. She wants the police to get out of her house. I mean, her spouse just died, and she's all like, "What? You need to get out of my house."
That was so weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
and honestly, I loved it. By the way, last night some lawyer, it was on Surviving the Survivor. She was sure to point out, wait a minute, Idaho, nothing's wrong with Idaho. All these attacks are coming from outsiders. And I agree with her, with the attorney that said that. So we've got these people coming in from Arizona like Zalema. Zalema, please don't move to my state ever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, she needs to. But I'm wondering if possibly, because, use immunity is only for this specific thing. If later can more stuff, if she was involved and knew anything about the Charles thing, because those text messages between her and Lori about Hippo's going and the earthquake coming and this and that, and he's getting to get killed in an accident. She was right there with all that stuff. And that hasn't even happened
yes, she
yet.
was. The whole, when Alex was, do you think you can summon a storm for, and it's right there in the FOIA docs. Mm-hmm. And she didn't think how abusive that was to say or do to, at the time, a 16-year-old girl.
Yep. Horrible.
I mean, these people, I'm like that, like you were just saying earlier, I mean, most of us would be like, what? You talk about kids like that? No,
it's awful. Yeah, it's just awful. So yeah, Dilemma is just as shady can be.
Oh, and I don't think any of them had their temple recommends taken. And I'm not bashing. I really, this is not about bashing any church or anyone. It's what these people get away with. All that it seemed to be getting away with, and that's what's been so infuriating. And I know I'm not alone because I see it all the time online. And so yes, I'd like to go to court and see what kind of immunity deals these people were given, and I want to tell the world.
Right. What does it say, Jenny? For a sad laugh, picture Zulema laying prone on her bed in a Superman pose, genuinely believing that she was astrally flying over Charles' car. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is how these people think.
Stupid. Like, come on. I'm sorry. That does not happen. You cannot do that.
And I know we've always theorized some kind of mass psychosis with these people. I don't, they're all getting divorced, having affairs, whatever, you do you, whatever. But yeah, why wasn't there somebody around saying, you people, like, was there? I think there was people that were saying, you're crazy, you need help. Oh, but then they'd go and kill those people like Charles Vallow.
Exactly. Yep. You're a zombie now because the real Charles.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I've crowned
and they couldn't even get creative. They had to get old Hollywood, like, with the zombie. Oh, geez.
Yeah. It's just insane. And I've never heard anything like this. I was trying to explain to somebody, one of my coworkers, I was talking to her the other day, and I was like, yeah, I have my podcast on this case. And I said, I'm so mad about that it's not going to be on. And she doesn't know what I'm talking about, right? And then she's like, well, what happened? What'd they do? And I'm like, oh, what'd they do? Well, here, you got a couple hours. I'm like, they killed the kids, buried in the backyard, killed the spouses.
Oh, I know.
And she was like, what?
Kathy, do you remember when he first started? How it was so incredulous. We're like, no, that is not true.
Yeah. I wish that zombie email, when it showed up in my mailbox, I wish I knew about live streaming. I didn't even know how to live stream at that point.
Oh, I know.
I should
And
have
now it gets
live
called a
streamed that.
Reddit letter. And I'm like, excuse me,
Yes.
I was there. Kathy had it first.
I know. The Reddit,
I mean,
infamous Reddit. Yep. But
oh, and by the way, would you mind sharing with all of us, like, because I know I asked you, and I know your audience is probably pretty aware, but I think people need to know about how, like, all of Melanie's friends and, you know, like when they were reaching out to you initially.
oh yeah. Yeah. I guess have I ever talked about this? So initially they were, what's the word for it? I feel like a lot of Melanie Gibbs friends were doing damage control, right?
Yes.
Because
And I don't want that to happen to me, by the way. So I'm glad I have you.
yes, right, exactly. So when I got that email, the zombie email, I called it the zombie email. I called it the zombie. That's what I started calling it from the beginning. I didn't know how to pronounce the names of the LDS, the Book of Mormon people.
Oh, but you've done very well, I have to say.
I've gotten better.
Over time, you're excellent. You pronounce names correctly and scripture and verse. And
so it was funny because I got that. I stayed up that night and made a video reading it, and boom, it just exploded right that next day. And so I got reached out to by one of the ladies who actually, these were her notes. They were in her computer. And basically her and a couple of the other Melanie Gibb friends had gotten together because Melanie Gibb was, she was talking to everybody. She was telling everybody all this stuff, all her friends, all her people. She was saying, and Charles is a zombie and this and that. And the kids, I don't think the kids are alive and right back then. And this was February, I think. And so
all of her little enablers around her.
They emailed me, one of them, and she's like, how did you get my notes that were in my computer? And I'm like, someone sent them to me. And she's like, but they were in my computer. How did you get them? Well, it turns out they actually did share them with somebody else that shared it with me. And then I was like, I can read this. And they were like, yeah, go for it. And so they were like, what? So, so they were kind of doing damage control a little bit back then. And, they were like, Melanie Gibb, basically she doesn't have anything to do with this. And David Warwick has talked her into realizing what these people had done to her and all that stuff. But that's where it came from. Melanie Gibbs shared all that stuff, all those things. And that's why it was kind of like, it's not written in like a journal. It's written like a this, with the zombies and Charles, and they met on this date and that, this is how they met and everything. But one of them was telling me at one point, because they did call me and talk to me and stuff, and very nice ladies. They were, this was unbelievable to them too. Like, what is happening? But one of them did call me, and she said she was with Melanie Gibb at one point at a funeral, and they were sitting there talking, but some other stuff. She goes, I wish I would have paid attention better to what she was saying, but I didn't even think about it. But Melanie was like, feel me. I'm hot.
Oh,
right now, I'm hot.
Menopause, hello.
Becoming translated right now. And she was like telling her about this whole being translated. And she was like, or whatever. But then now in hindsight, she was like, oh my God. She was really thinking that, her and Chad and Lori, little gang of cultish people were
they saying that to more people than just Melanie Gibb? The whole, it's happening, when she felt hot at the top of her head.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh.
That's what I think. All these women that have kind of backed off, that all those police interviews.
I better be nice. Yes, you're right.
What?
Because I don't want people to feel ashamed if they come forward. Yeah, it was probably embarrassing. They believed it.
Oh, yeah,
but
for sure.
I need to refrain from making fun, I guess, because I hope people will continue to come forward.
Right. Yes. And, and I'm sure that they, I'm sure that they were like, oh my gosh, we almost got sucked into this. We could be those people, we could.
And it happens. Oh, I'm reading. Be brave. The worst Melanie friends can do is give you, I can't see the bottom for some reason.
What? Oh, the thing down there? The chat. It says, LOL, Idaho mom reports, be brave. The worst Melanie Gibbs friends can do is give you hot flashes or make it rain on your head.
Well, I'm 51 years old. I already have those.
They come and go.
But
When
I
you're
really
not
look,
being
I just
translated,
know
you're
this is a
not.
really good group, and I'm not really interested in making videos. Of course, if I see something, or a project, I'd really like to just be home watching you or somebody else. But those kids deserve justice. Tammy deserves justice, and I hope Idahoans do something so we don't see this type of nonsense in the future.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, everybody's kind of dug their head in the sand a little bit, I think.
Oh, they do it all the time. I grew up here, I can say it. And I love my state, but we've got our problems just like everybody else.
Well, I mean, a lot of that happens. It's just like naturally people are kind of like, oh, I'm not going to be the one to but you're right though. Stuff like this needs to be exposed and stopped. And, you can't just use a religion and pretend that you are this godly person while you're off doing evil things. It just doesn't work like that. And, I think that
I mean, it was downright blasphemous what Chad was doing in the temple with, if the report, I believe that the reports are correct, of them stealing themselves and
yeah,
man.
Right.
Oh, and of course he's a prophet now anyway. So
yeah. Well,
and did you see that Lori is being visited by an LDS bishop in Ada County?
I saw that.
And that doesn't mean that she hasn't been excommunicated, though. Whoever pointed that out in the chat or whatever YouTube video that is, thank you.
Okay, so she could still be excommunicated, but they would
yes, and still receiving. And I told you about the little time I worked at the prison. I did see that quite a bit. I'd go, wasn't that guy excommunicated? That guy's always talking about being excommunicated, and then but he's in touch with his bishop or his home teacher, or so there's still the fellowship of the church.
Yeah.
Even if somebody's been excommunicated,
makes sense.
They just can't attend church, hold positions, they can attend church. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's actually withdrawal of membership, not excommunication. I apologize.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. There's always like, not that I would want her forgiven, but that's how Christianity works and stuff. So you can't just be like,
oh yeah. Nope. And I know there's corrupt people in the church. And there's probably some corruption in the church, and just like anywhere. And I don't mean, and I know, but think of all the great people that have come forward and denounced it. The city of Rexburg was awesome. Those kids were missing. Do you remember those little cupcakes at that bakery? Yeah, but where are the kids?
Oh yeah, with the colored.
That was so. I'm sorry.
The snake color.
Black and red. Of course, we've laughed along the ways. Of course, it's a very sad subject, but like we were talking about last night, it's a coping mechanism.
Lori wanted some booty from Chad. I'm sure that booty wasn't very good. I'm just saying.
Ew.
Like, can you imagine? She got to clean him up and make him look more normal and not like such a dork. I wonder what else she did. You have a little instruction.
Oh, well, no.
Yeah, so
we got my 89-year-old dad watching. Should we tell him about wine fire, or should we just wait?
Oh, the wine fire. We do need to. To read that again at some point, and I need to put that on Afterglow. It was a potato.
Yeah, it's as gross as it is. I think it gives people insight.
It does
to how they are. I'll just leave it at that.
Where his mind was and how
yes, exactly.
Lustful.
So to me, it's everything. It's lust, money, and greed. And the religion was just. I don't know. They both think they're gods. They've got their little superiority thing going, and I guess they know more than the rest of us.
Yeah, they think. But look where they are, and hopefully they'll never come out. And apparently they can't really use those portals. I don't know if anybody noticed. But those portals that they supposedly... Even Melanie Pulowski told Ian in that letter that they can also go to Hawaii via those portals.
Oh my
It was in
gosh. Like,
there. I mean, so Melanie
she's a whack job
Pawlowski,
too.
she is just so naive and so brainwashed that it's just
You know what
unbelievable.
I did find within the last week that I did not know before, and you may have reported on this. Did you know that Melanie is actually a really good runner? Like, she's an athlete and she's competed in a lot of marathons and has done very well.
I saw a picture with her and Brandon at one point. There's a picture of them at a marathon or with the number on or something.
Yeah, no,
An
she
old
had a
picture.
blog, and
Oh wow.
you know, and she her times were like really impressive. And anyway, that was just something that I had not known before, and oh, and then oh, it was on Noor
Wow.
Jasmine way back when I mean, she still makes videos. I really like her, and so she dug that up, and then she also dug up. We know that Melanie was in the Air Force at one time. We don't know, but Jasmine Noor is making the point that hey, she knows how to use guns, and I was like, very good point. You know, referring to Alex Cox shooting at Brandon Boudreaux. Did he act alone or no?
Somebody was driving that vehicle. I'm telling you, I don't think he shot out the back and then jumped in the front
hate
seat
seeing
the whole way.
Melanie Pawlowski getting off so easy, just like everybody else. She better have something good to say at that trial.
Yeah, real good. Like some hook, line, and sinker. It locks Lori up for the rest of her life, being that we can't do the firing squad or whatever they're trying to do now.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that and I think it's pretty obvious, and I'll just go on record saying this. Yeah, we have the death penalty, but we don't really mean it.
Well, welcome. Yeah, California's the same way. You can get sentenced.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how you feel about it, or I'm not sure how I feel about it at times. However, in this case, I struggle with Lori just because of mental illness. That's why I'd like to maybe see her. I'm not so certain if I could give it Chad. Oh, heck yes, he deserves it. That guy is such a narcissist. Just
yeah, no, he's just a I don't even know what to say about Chad. He's just a person.
Oh, and I know that we've had people that were on death row in Idaho, but they are insane, not just like insane as they were incompetent for a long time. Similar situation to Lori, except for they're men. And they were on death row. And then, of course, through the appeals process, they are no longer on death row, but they are in for life. There's at least 2 I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, my point with the death penalty is I think one reason I'm for it isn't necessarily that they're going to be put to death, but it is a huge negotiating tool.
Yes, and I think that's probably how it gets used in Idaho. Honest, I really do. And I've seen it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I think.
I don't think I ever told you that when I was in my 20s, I was in college and I went to Boise State. It's kind of close to the old courthouse. And I did attend a few days of the trial when Robin Rowe was on trial. She's the only woman on Idaho's death penalty right now. On Idaho's death row, I should say.
Oh, really? No. Huh.
Yeah, she's the one who, similar to Lori, in that she had all these insurance on her kids, on her husband, and she set afire to the house and and then collected on it. Oh, wouldn't you know? And then it turned out that it's very likely that she had killed other kids in California and in I think it was Vermont as well. So she and Lori will probably be great friends.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's crazy. Very similar. That's crazy. I'm looking.
I saw that about. So yeah, why does Florida and Texas? Why do they seem to have access to these chemicals, and Idaho doesn't? I don't know.
I would imagine that if Florida does, this is still the same country. They could get them too, and there's compound pharmacies and stuff that can make them. So
yes, thank you.
There's a compound pharmacy the other day. I'm like, oh, there's.
I have a feeling something that. The pharmacy companies probably got mad at Idaho for how Idaho was something on Idaho's part probably pissed off the pharmacists so much that they won't give us that. So one of the secret shady dealings there, I said, I don't know that for a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I know. Why wouldn't they share the chemicals? And if you could get it, like, I don't know, I work in healthcare, and it seems like if there's a shortage, it's everywhere. It's not in just one state.
Correct.
It's national. Can't they get fentanyl and use that? Well, yeah, they can just go down to Mexico and get some fentanyl over the pharmacy. But I don't know if you can. Fentanyl is a super short acting. We would do it. We would give it for labor and delivery in like 25 to 50 mics, but it runs out very fast. So I don't know what the dosage would be for them to be able to just snow somebody, and it actually causes their chest to can't expand, so they can't breathe. So I think it would probably be, I don't know, but
and we are a small state, and we don't have that many people on death row, maybe. So it's not a topic that gets visited very often compared to other states. So there is that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all, and everything's so political. So who knows?
Oh, yes, it is. And
she can't kill her anyway, right? So why does she want to be off the death penalty? She doesn't have to eat. She doesn't have to sleep. Apparently she has to pee though, because they pulled over and went in that store for her to pee the other day. So
oh, maybe she really is human.
I mean, that's all so crazy with that untranslated. I'm getting long. Remember her and Zalema's text? They got 4 days younger every day. No.
What was that?
4 days or something like that.
Not to be crass, but she's discussing her periods with Lori, and it's like she's getting younger or something.
Yeah, just like the first, like, oh my God, that was just crazy. When I was reading that, I was like, oh, are you kidding me right now? And then I got a scratch on my finger and it's healing really fast. Do you notice that too? Yes. I've had some scratches that heal really fast too now. Oh, wow.
Oh, their bodies are crystallizing and whatever, and they're ascending, and they really were just kind of ripping stuff off from like other new age type beliefs and no offense to anybody who may have those beliefs. We just know that these people were using it to bolster their grandiosity and confirm their whatever freaky stuff they had going on.
Yeah. I'm super curious in the trial. I know it's going to be really hard to hear. I'm sure the Woodcocks are going to have a really hard time when all the evidence comes out about exactly what was used.
I've thought about that myself.
Yeah. And then Tylee, why? Like, why did they have to?
I'm sure everybody will understand it. I mean, I'm not a hard-hitting journalist. I'm a mom, and if I have to walk outside, I'll let you guys know.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I've worked in social services. I've seen some stuff, and I think I can probably, knowing that it's helping the situation, I will do all I can to stay there. But I do like, that's why I love you and other YouTubers. It's like, but I'm only human. And also I don't know that I'll be comfortable necessarily reporting on it unless I know that the Daybell family already knows. Or not the Douglas family, excuse me.
Yeah. I'm sure. So yeah, but I think I would imagine that they're going to hop on whenever Nate releases the audio.
Right. And I'll figure that out when I get to it. I mean, I think people understand, I'm just basically a mom with a phone. Now I sound like dad with a phone. I don't mean to be, and I'm just, so I'm not trying to be the first to report the story, Yeah. I'm just there as like another witness, and I want it out there so it's out there.
No, yeah, I agree. And you're there, so that's super helpful to the rest of us that are so far away. And I mean, we appreciate it.
And I love that all the journalists will be there and so many other YouTubers, because it's like we need as many eyes here as possible to tell people what the hell's happening.
Lori says, yes, it's hard to watch. I had to see pictures of my nephew's bodies in their trial.
Oh, that sounds so horrifying.
But I did it because I wanted to support them. I sobbed through it, but did it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So reliving all that again, I'm sure is just horrible. And sorry about I remember you telling me that when you were at the trial and stuff, Lori. That's just awful. So sad. But you guys got a conviction, so that's good too. Can't bring them back, but I guess it's the best case scenario if they're gone is to get the conviction.
I just love this group. Kathy, you just bring in like really caring, nice people that, yeah, we like to joke and make, funny small talk or whatever, but everybody here is just so caring and nice.
Yeah, we have a
And
really
they have
good
great stories and a wonderful, so many backgrounds to draw upon. It's been a really nice community.
I agree. I'm really glad we built such a nice community. We had in the
because if
beginning,
it weren't for you guys, I don't think I'd even do it.
The riffraff was here initially, but we had to get rid of them. We had to get out of here. My mods.
Yeah.
We got rid of riffraff.
And over the years, I think I pretty much know exactly. If I see certain people coming towards me at the trial, I'm walking the other way.
Yeah, well, there's people. I mean, we all know there's a lot of shenanigans going on for people to be the first and the best and a lot of underhanded stuff. So
I'm not in competition with anybody, and I know people say that. I do want do a nice job. I'm in graduate school. I know Kathy knows this. If my professors see it, I want them to go, "Oh, she looks so nice and professional, and she did a great job," kind of thing. But other than that, it's really just about, first of all, holding the judicial system accountable, holding the prosecutors accountable, and of course, getting the information out of course, as truthful, but yet as nicely as possible.
Yes. Did you see what she's saying? There's a secret gag order that was done in the judge's chambers, from what I
There was.
I didn't know that. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, well, this is Idaho, where the judge in Letecia County is telling parents, is putting a gag order on the parents. Are you kidding me? So basically, you're the government telling people they have to shut up. No, we don't do that here. Not in this country. No way.
That's crazy.
But do we know anything more about the secret gag order that was done in the judge's chambers?
That's the first I heard of it.
Kiwi 1986, do you want to expound for us?
Yeah. There was something else I saw here. How did I come up with my channel name? I was like, because I want to do cases that weren't solved yet. So it's like Left Undone. They're left undone. They're not solved yet.
Yeah, well, this one's left undone for sure, and it will be for a long time with the slow Idaho judicial process.
And then to go to Charles and all that stuff for sure.
Oh, yes. Oh, I hope that man gets justice, and I hope to hell that Joe Ryan's case is reopened. I think I was telling you, I was just looking over those documents from their divorce. Oh my gosh, she was horrible to Joe Ryan. And no, I do not believe that he sexually abused Tylee or Colby. And of course, and I'm somebody, and I know I've worked in social services. You always believe kids, but in my experience, yes, kids are often not telling the truth because of the other parent's influence.
Right. And then when you read those documents, it really shows.
Yes, it does. And those social workers in Texas, they did a wonderful job from what I read, and I'm so grateful that they were there advocating for Tylee. But of course, her mom's just too smart. She got ahead of all these people from all these different states. And then social workers even, I don't know how it worked that they were allowed to adopt JJ after the way she had treated Joe Ryan, was so obviously abusing Tylee. And she was one abusing Tylee, as in with parental alienation and manipulation and depriving her relationship with her father. But yet then she gets to adopt JJ.
Yeah.
And no offense to all the wonderful child welfare workers out there. You guys are great. I love the short time I worked with you all, and they do a great job. They really do. But
that's a hard job.
She's sneaky, and she knew how to get around the system.
I believe Lori did Joe Ryan in, if not physically, for sure emotionally. I just know.
Oh my gosh,
it can be proven because he was cremated. I know it's such a bummer. But
she left to cremate her husbands right after she killed them.
Yeah, without telling anybody. Oh, by the way, your dad's dead.
Hi, boys. I have some really sad news.
He texts you, and then doesn't answer them. Oh my gosh, Lori's just a horrible person. I mean, you just think about that. Just go back to Charles alone, how horrible she was through all that. And then up to this stuff, no way. And Tylee's lying for her. that
Yeah,
day,
poor.
Charles, like poor Tylee, and then Tylee winds up getting the, I mean, it's
Yeah,
just, oh,
and I really got to thinking about Talia the other day, and I just got really, what chance did that poor girl have? Her mother depriving of her father from such an early age. And I don't know if you read that. Like Tylee, it was observed that Tylee was already she would knew how to disassociate herself from really stressful situations. Such an example being when Joe was tasered by her uncle Alex, and Tylee had no emotion.
yeah. See, what doesn't, you can really screw up kids mentally when you have horrible parents doing horrible things to each other and to manipulation and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Tylee
and
was tough,
I think everybody realizes that Charles Vallow wasn't always the perfect person. He did not deserve to die, though, and he did try to help the situation.
Oh, he was trying so hard. And
I
it was so
know.
frustrating that those cops are like, "Oh, you don't seem crazy. Just don't answer your door if they come to take you for an evaluation. That you don't have to answer your door." They just fed into her baloney.
Oh yeah, my only criticism of Charles is because we all know we love Lori so much, his little blonde Barbie doll. Is I do think that he should have shut her down a lot sooner than he did.
By Emily, I think so too. And I don't know what else he could have done because nobody was listening and her family wasn't listening, and she was, she was.
Yeah, back in the day when she was going after Joe Ryan so hard.
Yeah. Right.
He was a bit complicit, I have to say, and I mean that respectfully. But maybe he didn't know the whole situation. I don't know.
I think, from what I understand, that when that happened to Joe Ryan with the taser, Charles and Lori were already together. So
yeah, they were. They got together in 2006. Charles and Lori. That's when they got married, and he just really loved her. And I think it's just a case of well, we know also from the documents, like remember when Lori referred to Charles as Joe Ryan? She said, "Yeah, whatever, Joe Ryan," by text. I'll bet that scared the crap out of Charles. Knowing what happened with Joe Ryan.
Yeah.
And then she starts accusing Charles of a lot of what she accused Joe Ryan of.
Yeah. And, Annie, points out a lot of really interesting things about Joe Ryan's apartment. She went through that photos with a fine tooth comb, and those albums aren't there. Different things. The ones
wonder how much, if any of that, will come into the trial.
I don't know.
Oh, and I can see the manipulator. Yes, she's a master manipulator.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Lori. Look at what a good manipulator she was. She got around all the social workers in Texas who were demanding that Tylee be in contact with her dad immediately. So then she moves to Arizona.
Yeah.
And it's just this little cycle this little game she plays, and she played over and over because she's so manipulative, she can do it. And then we see that Melanie Pulaski was following in her footsteps. How nice.
For sure. And then Joe Ryan moves to Arizona, and they move to Hawaii. Lori's
right.
Full of goop. Yeah. Poor Charles begged law enforcement for some help. He really tried to explain to law enforcement what Lori was talking about. Yeah.
Oh, my dad will so agree with you on that. He watched that video, and he was so sad. And the female cop who was believing him, and then the male cop who wasn't.
Yeah, that was awful. So sad. And I can't imagine being the family, like being Kay and Larry. They've had so much go and crush it.
Yeah, it's got to be rough. And I'm never offended by anything they say. I hope they are grieving, and I don't even know that I'll approach them at the trial. They do seem like very nice people.
Yeah,
and I'm so grateful that they pushed so hard for justice for these kids as well. And Tammy, of course, is, they've been pushing for justice for everyone.
Yeah, they've been great. I mean, they even that interview just there, he says, my granddaughter, Tylee, so he's.
Yeah. Well, Tylee, and that's the thing too. And I think that's another thing where I'd like to go. Tylee she doesn't really have any family other than Annie. Yes, she has the Cox family. I don't think the Cox family ever stepped in to help Kylie when she needed them.
And I mean, and she has Colby, but that's also
And
a mess.
well, I can kind of give Colby a I don't know, though. I know Annie's made some compelling arguments about that, but it's just a shame that that woman was Tylee's mother. And she took Tylee away, isolated her from anyone that could possibly help that girl.
Yeah.
Or listen to her. And she had a history of that since Tylee was born, it seems like.
Yeah. Rhonda, shout out to Difficult Research and all she's doing to give these innocent victims a voice.
Oh, yes. And also, and of course, Annie and
mm-hmm. I mean, that's very brave of them. I don't know if I could make a channel about my own family and.
Oh, me too. Oh, yes. I belong to Difficult Research too. I'm on Crash's channel.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, just even my friend who I know was murdered by her husband. I just have a hard time even going forward publicly with all of that stuff. So, because it's and
I think there's a good possibility. I know I have knowledge of certain things in life that I can't speak of, you know, for a lot of reasons, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's why I feel compelled to help.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I love it.
Total strangers, because that's a way maybe I can pay back for the people who have helped me, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it'll be nice. Like, you're helping all of us here, this community we built, by being able to be there and let us know, because I don't have.
Oh yeah, I know. I thanks for everybody's patience. I'm just still getting used to things and learning things, but I feel that when it comes to going to the trial, I pretty much have all I need to know. I watched all of Kathy's videos. I'm well informed. I'll know what they're talking about. And what's new versus what you guys have already heard before.
Yeah, right. And there will be new stuff. So you'll know.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we never heard that before. You know, take some notes.
Oh, yes.
Well, and a lot. There's a lot.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I'm not really interested in building up a huge YouTube community, but I guess I'm going to need like 500 subscribers to get the community tab, so I can just, you know, maybe bring a laptop and give updates that way.
So you guys go, you know, go join her or go subscribe to her channel. I think we put it in the chat a little while ago. Lori, do you have it again? Because so she can have the
right now it's called Cavalier Mom. But I'm going to change it to, because that sounds really horrible. I am a Cavalier mom. I have 2 beautiful Cavalier dogs, but I'm not a Cavalier person. So I'll be changing it to Idaho Mom Reports.
Oh, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. Lori, Lori just put it in the chat again. It's YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
Cards and Cavalier 8389/. So
I'm just repurposing the YouTube channel I have because it'll help people. I was going to create a new YouTube channel. If you guys think I should, I'll do that maybe.
No, you can.
But this is how you all know me, and you know, I'll just leave it for now, and then the day I can change it, the name, I will.
Yeah, and you're gonna change it to the Idaho Mom Reports. I think that's the plan.
Yes,
right?
Thank you for the idea. That Kathy just came up with that, and I feel that yes, I do have a background in social services in the area, and the correction system, but I'm not reporting as an expert. I'm reporting as a citizen and as a mother, and really just a member of the community here in Idaho and at large, really.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's going to be super helpful, and you're going to be there. And look at we're getting your subscribers right now. Look at that go! Yay, you guys!
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it, and I'll get on it, and I'm getting my hair done on Wednesday, so then I'll appear on camera. I know. I hate to sound like Lori, but no, guys, my roots are bad. I haven't had my hair done since the pandemic. That's how bad. So I'm not being like Lori.
Thank you, PLM. Appreciate that. Like and subscribe. Jenny's asking you what your graduate degree's in.
Oh, I I was doing social work, and Kathy knows I got sick, so I was getting a master's in social work, and just started in the program, and so that's why I've got the time off. I had what's called a transient ischemic attack, and I won't even bore you guys with all that. But so anyway, so I'm kind of off till summer.
So it's good timing. Good timing for you to have a TIA, I guess. I mean, if there's
it really did feel like, well, it's kind of meant to be. I mean, I didn't anticipate, first of all, that cameras would be banned from the courtroom.
Right.
I didn't anticipate I'd have time off. And then I was like, well, what do I have to say? What can I share with people? You guys just want to know what's being said in court. Okay, I can do that.
Yep, that's what we want to know. And that'll be really helpful since Judge Boyce isn't letting us. But that's his choice, and that we're still going to find out, Judge Boyce. Don't matter if you're letting
there's
not.
And haven't we all seen things like miracles always happen? Who knows? Maybe he'll have a change of heart, or if he'll at the very least let the Douglas family have access in their home.
That would be very nice of him. What was Larry saying that should be filed with the Attorney General? There was a name for it.
It's the interlocutory appeal, and I believe I don't believe that. I think that's filed at. I'll have to double check. I don't think it's filed with the Attorney General exactly. I think it's with like a higher appellate court in Idaho. I don't think it's quite at the Supreme Court level, but I know it is an appeal, and it is in the process, and maybe, who knows?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've not heard anything. I've not heard anything else about it except for what he just said about it. So,
and you can all see how slowly the Idaho justice system moves. And yes, I honestly, growing up here, you guys, I thought that was how things were done everywhere. And then I kind of started watching Scott Reich and realizing, oh yeah, other states seem to have trials that go by a lot faster than we do. So, but it could be because of our small state, could be a lot of things,
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know if you guys have followed at all. I've been following a case down here in Riverside County, California, in Corona, Noah McIntosh, and it's like 4 years old, and his dad is still not gone to trial. And he literally tortured that kid, put him in the bathtub with hot and cold water, chained him, and then
is this a pretty recent case, Kathy? I've been meaning to watch it.
It still hasn't gone to trial. That's one I might try to get to because it's in my county.
Right.
But his name is Bryce McIntosh, and I have some videos on it. And little Noah was, missing. His mom and his grandparents have commented a couple times on my videos when I posted them. But I was like hoping other creators would get a hold of this case because it's so sad and it's such horrible child abuse. And
that is something I would love to see. I'd love to see all these kinds of cases get as much attention as this one.
Yeah. CPS got sued by that because of they dropped the ball so many times. You wouldn't believe how many times they were called and they didn't.
Kind of like the West over in Kern County.
Yeah. But even worse than that.
Is it? Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's awful.
I'm going to catch up on those videos sometime this weekend.
Yeah, you should check them out because it's a really interesting case and it's horrible. And it hasn't gone to trial yet.
And this is where YouTubers really do help.
Yes, exactly. And I noticed that Law and Crime has filed to film it when it does go to trial. I saw that when I went on the case docket stuff. So it'll probably come about as people start watching it when it finally does go to trial. Because all of a sudden you'll get these trials that they're live streaming. You're like, what? Jealous boyfriend, horse guy, whatever, they just pop up. You never heard of them. And then I watch part of the trial. So hopefully it will. But let's see. Teresa says, everyone write letters, write the state bar, the state attorney general. Your voice matters. Always keep pushing forward. Keep the letters going.
Yeah, hopefully I think the letter writing campaign, I definitely think it makes a difference. Even if somebody's name, even if Boyce doesn't change his mind, at least the legislatures will know, and other lawmakers, policymakers. it might get our politically motivated new attorney general. It might get him. I don't know what he could do exactly, but yeah, I think it's important to because then we have it. It's in the public. At least the people who can do something about it will know.
Yeah, exactly. They'll know that, if the squeaky wheel literally sometimes gets the squeaky wheel gets the.
Yeah, and I will say, and I again, I love it here, but there is a tendency to be too trusting of authority figures, and perhaps that's why maybe Chad Daybell moved here.
Very possibly. That was like his mecca or whatever. He went there.
Yeah. Oh, well, I do. And exactly. And when that attorney said that last night, I'm like, she's right. And that's probably exactly why he left Springville, Utah, because he knew that and I'm not saying that Idahoans are naive by any means. That's not what I'm saying. But he could go somewhere where somebody didn't know him. They didn't know his past, and he could make create a new Chad Daybell for all of us.
Right.
And there is kind of he would present himself as an active LDS man, and he knew how to ingratiate himself in the community, and when all along it was just a mask. All along, Lori was just wearing a mask,
being able to pull people in and tell them they were more special than all these people, so come with us,
right.
By the way, we're both ex-flight attendants, you guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Another reason why I just loved Cappy was watching her.
I know there's others too that have been.
Yeah, I believe it. And there is, I don't think, now that I've made a career transition, usually people recognize that that's a very, responsible job, and you learn a lot, I have noticed there's been a few HR recruiters or people in my program that don't understand, but flight attendants actually really, they have this uncanny gift at knowing people in their BS like right away. And then also being able to engage with a group of people of diverse backgrounds, all the while we're serving drinks and protecting the aircraft.
Right. Yeah.
And plus they're my best friends and the funnest people I've ever hung out with in my life.
So much fun. You make best friends you're literally with a crew like one time for a night, and they're all your new best friends,
And they're always hiring people, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah. If anybody's ever thinking about it,
I've traveled everywhere and, lived my dream of, getting out of this little place I grew up in. And of course now I'm back because I love it, of course. But I did, sometimes I still miss being a flight attendant, but I also like what I'm doing now.
Too. I miss it. I did it when I was young, then I stopped, and then I went back, but I was poor because I couldn't juggle both jobs, and I needed, by the time I had my RN salary, and that was my lifestyle. So reserve was not working out. So
you do make good money as a flight attendant, but it takes a few years.
And the reserve was bad at United.
Yeah.
It was 24 hours, and you only had 4 guaranteed days off a month. So it was messed up. And I couldn't schedule myself to work my RN shifts because of their reserve system was that bad. So
but they love retirees. They love, somebody, don't think that you're too old, because there's no such thing. They people of all ages. And it's just, it's a good job, and it's a great community, I think.
I went back.
But I also love doing what I'm doing now, mostly being a mom, even though my kids are grown.
Yeah. And that's a thing. A lot of people do have kids at home and still can do it. It depends where you're based. And there's some airlines that actually only do turns. So you just go to work and come back. Most of them have
when my kids were in preschool, I had teachers who did not know that I had a job. Because I was always, because it was so flexible, the airline I worked for moms at that time, but then it wasn't a few years later. But when my kids are little, I saw them all the time. It was great.
Yeah, it is actually a good mom job, and you can drop. Reserve is the worst part, but some airlines actually have really good reserve system. But you can drop trips, you can work minimum. I mean, there are ways to do it.
It's so flexible.
Do I have a Hawaii trip on the calendar? No, because I'm going to Greece again. I am going to Greece September 4th through the 19th. So I know I'm like, Hawaii's calling my name. My daughter was just there, and I was like, ah. But Greece is next again because I'm taking my youngest son. But yeah, so it's definitely a good job. And a lot of people, you can be young, you can be old, you can do it. A lot of people do it after they retire from
Yep.
another job. Yeah. So Greece again. Yes. All right. So anything about Letecia Stauch that we want to talk about before we end? This trial is getting started too, and she's trying to plead not guilty by insanity, which, I've lost weight. A little bit, actually, since I started this, I have, because I gained weight during COVID and then I lost it, but now I need to lose a little bit more. It's menopause weight. Stupid. Nate Eaton, let's see what this is. Nate Eaton, Eastsider Knows, is going to stream the audio from the trial and recap on YouTube at night. I think what happens is, this is how I understand it. The courthouse is going to release the audio at the end of the day.
The next business day.
Okay. And then he is going to release it, and then we can all listen in and stream it or whatever we can do.
And he'll do a great job. I just like the idea of a lot of different sources in the courtroom. I really like Nate. He's not biased at all. Oh, and by the way, I was telling you that it's not true that Frank Vandersloot does not own East Idaho News. I was wrong when I was telling you that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
you found out.
I'll have to look at it, but Frank Vandersloot is likely the secret Santa that they have. He's a very wealthy. He actually, Melaleuca is his company, and so he's worth like $3 billion, I think. Wow. And if you remember, Ian Pawlowski works for Melaleuca as a sales representative.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Teresa, for saying that. I appreciate that. And I put the other one up here too, the KCL. Thank you. That's interesting. But I know Ian works for Melaleuca, or did, or does, or he's on there. When you look at his LinkedIn, it says Melaleuca.
Yeah. I think it said he's a sales supervisor.
Okay. And yes, it's MLM.
It isn't, yeah.
I agree, Justice Jane. I think it's ridiculous that the cameras aren't allowed in the courtroom. They were there this whole time until they zoomed in on Lori one time. Oh, whoop-de-doo-dah day, Lori.
Yeah,
flashing her fake rubber band ring and stuff, whatever. But then I don't think that was grounds to get him out. I really don't. I think that was an excuse.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's hard to say. I mean, he's a judge. He'll be held. I don't know. He can't win anyway he does it. Because if he did somehow, we got a mentally ill woman there. We know that. And yes, she's competent for trial. And no, she's not a nice person. Or, she probably killed her kids. But I'm sure as a judge, he feels some responsibility to, I don't know, give her some kind of, and I'm just talking. I'm not sure. But knowing how crazy she is, I'll bet that's difficult for him. And there she is, all hamming. It's like, oh gosh, what's the word? It's like it gives her credence to her delusions, the way she was playing up the cameras. I don't know if that's what he was thinking, but
yeah, they don't even have to put the camera on her. They could just
put
it on the witnesses as they came, and
correct.
That's what we want to hear anyway. We don't really care to see Lori's dumb face.
Oh, and I'll be sure and tell you what she's wearing every day, because I do think that's important, to her credibility.
Yeah, that's true. They get to wear real clothes, huh? Like nice.
And then and also how crazy she is. And by the way, her hair, did you all see her hair the other day? It was so greasy. It looked better the next day.
She has this little thing right here. I don't know if she's trying to hide her gray, but she's doing the little, I used to do that to my daughter when she was really little. We just put the little thing right here.
Yeah, I like that kind of hairstyle as a half up, or what do they call it? And I wear my hair like that sometimes, but
Most
She
of the time I
probably
wear my
spends all
hair
day
as a
in her
messy
cell doing
bun.
her
That's
hair and her makeup.
my normal day is a messy bun. The only time I take my hair down is when I'm on here. Her hair is getting gray, and it's not blonde at all anymore. It's
No,
definitely
and the other day it didn't look clean, is what I mean,
it looked
it
dirty.
looked pretty, I mean, honestly, it looked greasy from when she left that hearing. It's like it hadn't been washed. And I just think that's, could go to, if her hygiene's kind of different, maybe there's some mental health issues. And of course, I'm speculating.
I know, but I don't think they get to take a shower every day in jail.
Right.
I think they only get because I remember watching that. What trial was I watching? I was watching some trial. The Brooks, that guy that ran over all the people in Wisconsin, and he was like, whatever. He was like, well, can I go and come back because I only get to shower on certain days?
Yeah.
So I don't.
And
think
I
you
told
can
you,
just shower.
I have worked at the maximum security men's prison here outside of Boise for a time. I do. So I do have, but we all know that every jail and every prison is different. It varies, based on whoever the warden is or the sheriff. And um, I did hear last night on the Surviving the Survivor that where Lori is right now is not pleasant, and it's not sounding like she'll be able to wear makeup to trial, because Ada County doesn't tolerate that stuff, according to this attorney who seems very credible.
Well, and who was saying that is the overflow for Pocatello, right? There's just not enough room, and the food's not good, and it's crowded, and
Yeah, she's not going to like the. However, if there's a acute mental health unit, that could be different.
What's her diagnosis?
I've heard schizoaffective.
Yeah, so that's a personality disorder. But
and accompanied by delusions like schizophrenia, so there's delusions of grandeur. And
I see what you're saying.
I also think she suffers from delusions of persecution. But what do I know? I am not Dr. John.
Yeah, so she's definitely not right in the head.
No,
by any means.
And she probably hasn't been for a really long time. I do know that schizophrenia typically in women appears between the age of 28 and 30.
Yes. Did she show? I mean, does she hear voices? Does she get?
Yes, and of course, being like she is, and she was always around, her family, who of course would protect her, and people, and then we do know that she attended church, and probably like her ward members were too, they're nice. They're not necessarily going to say anything, nor would they know the signs to look for, But and of course, and then she's also a manipulator on top of everything else.
Right.
And that's the thing with her, is she can blend in. The people I've worked with before, they couldn't blend in. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely has I just deal with these people sometimes at work.
Yes, you were telling me about that.
They always have more than one diagnosis, though. They'll be, schizophrenic, bipolar, and borderline, and so you don't know what part's playing what,
Right.
They try to BS me. They tell me all these lies. They're like,
and of course, the telltale sign is they'll seriously sit there and go, I'm not crazy, I'm better. And they'll try to, and they'll be like maybe successful for about 10 minutes of trying to talk to you without the red flags. But then, of course, then the delusions take over. That's been my experience. Although I have worked with people where the signs were more subtle. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my experience mostly is with severe and persistent mental illness.
Yeah.
So even though she is crazy, I feel like she knew what she was doing, but she also had enablers.
And that's the thing. And, her family and people, when Charles was asking for help, they were enabling her to blame Charles. Oh, yeah, Charles, my husband's having an affair. He's trying to murder me with my brother, blah, blah, blah. And
like when she was talking to the officer in Rexburg, of course, he was onto her by that point. But didn't she sound like, it looked like mania to me. It really did. Or it sounded like it, I should say.
Night, Ruby. Hope you feel better. And thank you for the donation. Really appreciate that. She's got COVID.
Oh, no. Oh, ew, I've had it. It's the worst. I'm so sorry.
I know I had it too, but I I just want it to go away, but I don't think it's going anywhere. But yes, feel better. Get some rest. Sleep. Hydrate. Sleep. You heal when you sleep. Let's see. Lori's mental health had been creeping up for a hot minute, in my opinion. Family and friends could not speak about it. And that's the thing. I think that, if they would have been like, oh gosh, let's help Charles with, instead of being like, believing her baloney about Charles is the crazy one and Charles is after me and Charles, but I mean, I'm sure they regret a lot of that at this point. Janice seemed to have come around quite a bit in that last interview I saw, where she wasn't just defending it. She was like, I just have to focus on, she doesn't like that the Lori we used to know, or the Lori we knew, or whatever. So
I have to just chime in. I have worked with families where they've seen the signs, and they brought they'd bring in their kids for early intervention, because if you intervene, you can maybe help it. But by this time, Lolo is loco.
Lolo is loco.
I mean, her family probably didn't know, and I think a lot of things about the Cox family, but they didn't kill Kylie, JJ, and Tammy or Charles.
Yeah, and denial is a huge,
however,
powerful thing. Very powerful.
Had they recognized the signs or not been embarrassed of mental health, there's probably that. Maybe this wouldn't have happened. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the stigma and denial is their
right. Thank you. You said it very well.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Anything else before we wrap up? Let's see. Oh gosh, we're going close to 2 hours, which is long for me.
2 hours, really? Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and for being patient with me and making me feel comfortable.
You did great, and we've signed up. I subscribed to you yesterday, and
yay! Why did I go ahead and log off so you can tell everyone good night? I thank you so much.
And I don't know if you saw this, but on StreamYard, we can try at some point. You can stream and I can stream at the same time to our own channels. So we'll have to practice that and see how that works at some point.
I appreciate it so much, and I do have doctor's appointments here and there, but for the most part, I'm available if you're available. So
perfect.
Anytime you want to go on, please let me know.
All right. We'll plan it.
Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, everyone. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Right, bye. Thank you for being here so much. Bye. Well, you guys, that was really good. I'm really glad she's going to be there. That was super when she said she was going to be there. I was just so happy. You have that pillow? The Believe one? I have to keep changing my background, but now we are stuck in my room because my son is staying here in my other room. So I think I'm just going to put it. I look at everybody's backgrounds on the other YouTube channels, and they have these really cute light up names and stuff, and not like big ones, but I can't. But I do have my blue lights going on back there. So, but that Believe pillow, I like it too. I think I got it. Did you get it at Marshall's or something like that? Do you think Lori's mom or sister will be there? I would think they would be there. I mean, but maybe not. Maybe that's really hard to watch your own kid on trial for murder of their kids. So, good show, and I hope everyone has a good weekend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Need a plant and a cat. Just a question. Where was JJ when everyone was at the police department when Charles had been gunned down? Where was JJ? That's a good question. I don't know. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You were so sweet to be here, and we are so looking forward. Thank you for the super chat. And Idaho Mom Reports. She's going to change her name when she can. You're very welcome. So, he was at school. Oh, Lori dropped him off at school. You're right. There's so much that I can't keep it all straight in my head anymore. It's like so much. You're right. He was at school. That's right. And that was all part of that shenanigans with the keys and the hiding the car and all that stuff the night before. So it must have been during the day. Because didn't Tylee ask something about if she could pick up her brother? If her mom went to the facility in that interview. She said something like that. Would I be able, she was asking the police officer, right? Would I be able to get my brother? You did not miss the party. And everyone that gave super chats, I really appreciate it. Anything that can help me keep the channel going, that is just fabulous, and the expenses of it and everything. And then Afterglow Unveiling the Idaho Cult, my podcast, if you're not listening to it, go to Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. There's actually a link on the community tab where you can watch it, listen to it right online. And I have all the background. Season 1 is all the background up to the whole Charles thing. And then season 2 goes into the kids, and I audio and everything. And I'm still, it's going to be a never ending podcast, I think, because every time I think, oh God, we didn't cover this yet and this, and I'm trying to do everything in chronological order. So I'm not even up to the point where Lori and Chad are caught by Nate in Hawaii yet. So you can binge it. And it's getting some really, really, really good reviews on Apple. I mean, some are kind of weird, but there's some really good people, really good reviews. Like people are like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to listen to this. And it's just me, being me like I am here. But I went through the timeline and I tried to find every single audio and police body cam audio and interviews and all that kind of stuff and put it in order. So it just organizes it. Shenanigans, thank you so much for the super sticker. You're very kind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, and the thumbs up, please. Thank you so much. And I did put the Discord link in the chat. Everybody is welcome to come to Discord. We do have it linked to members, so there's some other channels that you don't see if you're just a subscriber, but there's plenty. There's the Vallow Daybell that's there. There's the General Hat Chat. There's the True Crime. There's the Gannon Letecia channel. So we got a lot of channels. There's a fun one. There's just a lot of different ones that I've put up. So anybody that wants to join Discord is welcome. Did you get the link, or do you need me to share it again? And Discord is a little bit weird to get used to when you first show up. I was so confused when I did it, but now that I got it down, it's actually pretty cool. And it has a lot. And we have a movie room where we could actually stream and I'll do voice, or we can also share screen and watch shows and stuff too. After shooting happened, check the FOIA stuff that came out. No, JJ. The Charles shooting? Which shooting? There were a lot of shooting? That shooting? Interesting, in the Murdoch trial spilled over and people are learning about Daybell. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because it's amazing that a lot of people didn't know about Daybell, because I feel like everybody knows, but you haven't figured out Discord. It's a little weird when you drop into this one. You come in the general chat, and then on the left side there's, if you link over or you go up there, you can see like at the bottom are your settings. There's a little thing at the top. There's on the left side, if you're on a computer, and I don't know, is it on the phone the same way? There's you look at it, it's like Left Undone, and then there's general, and then there's True Crime, and then there's all these, and then as you click in those, you can see the running chat about it that's in there. There's a lot more to it that I don't even know. We're learning, but it's worth going in there, because I spend a lot of time in there. I'm in there every day, talking about things. A lot of people that are in there are really good at bringing in new news, things that we don't even know about. That's how come I'll post things. I'll find it in there. Somebody will put it in there, and then I put it on the community tab over here. So it is really kind of cool. And we've made a nice little community in there. Oh yeah. And then Lori's got the podcast up here. And yes, Lori says, just come on in. We will walk you through it. It's easy after a bit. We want you all in there. Yeah, it is really fun too. I mean, and it's a nice way to kind of get to know each other too, because it's constantly going, unlike the channel, who it's really only going when we're on, right? Lori is like many evil people, in my opinion, using religion to excuse evil behavior to make her feel superior, as did Chad. Not mention no mental illness, in my opinion, just corrupt people believe what they want to. Yeah, I've gone back and forth with Lori. I think if she has a disorder or not, I know she knows right from wrong, in my opinion. She knew to lie. She knew to not say like, oh, where's JJ? Well, he turned into, the actual people that are in psychosis that I've speaking to, if they said, where's JJ after you killed him and you're really lost it, you would be saying, oh yeah, he turned into a zombie. I had to get rid of him. Like that would just be a fact in your world. So the fact that she lies to the police, told Melanie Gibb to lie, I just feel like she's competent enough to know right from wrong. And I think that's all that matters here. You don't get to kill people. You just don't. And she should know that. Zombie or not, you're not in charge. Right? Yes, come into Discord more. So that is, thank you, everyone. I am going to wrap up. I keep blah, 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 talk, but I am going to sign off now. And next Saturday, I'm in a class. I'm in a training all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So I will probably either do my live stream later in the day on Saturday when I get home, or on Friday night after or before or after. We have members only on Friday at 4:00 p.m. So I'll probably do next Saturday's live on Friday. Let's just put it that way. So if anybody wants to look for that, I'll put the link up. Okay. All right. You're welcome. All right. Stay safe, stay well. Thank you everybody for being here. Appreciate you all. And we will talk very soon because we're not going anywhere now. This is going to trial. Take care.